Great. All right. My name is Thomas Oldroyd with InsideSales.com. I'd like to welcome everyone out to the webinar today, Penetrating Target and Strategic Accounts. We'll be covering some very interesting topics. I want to go ahead and introduce our speakers today. We've got Ron Snyder, who is the president of Breakthrough Incorporated. He's consulted with many companies and trained hundreds of salespeople and managers on sales effectiveness, territory and account planning, and helping them significantly improve their sales effectiveness. Ron is also the president of Plan to Win Software. They provide territory and account planning applications that work on Salesforce.com, enabling sales teams to manage their sales plans and drive exceptional sales results. You can find those applications on the Salesforce App Exchange. We also have with us today Todd Grierson, Senior Marketing Specialist with InsideSales.com. Todd is an expert in inbound marketing and demand generation here for us at InsideSales.com. That work that he does fuels tremendous growth for our company. We're growing it currently 100% year over year, and he'll be speaking to some of the key ways that we're able to accomplish that. So we hope you all enjoy our presentation today. First off, we'll be hearing from Ron, and he'll be speaking about creating and implementing high-impact account plans. So, Ron, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your day. We know your time is valuable, and so we're going to make the best use of our time together. The first topic, which I'm going to cover, is talking about creating high-impact plans to penetrate accounts either deeper or to win new accounts. What are the ingredients of a successful sales plan, how to turn strategy into action, and then some best practices. Then we're going to turn it over to Todd, and he's going to talk about how to connect with the key players in the accounts to help you implement your plans. So with that, you know, it's not just the will to win that matters, as Paul Bear Bryant, one of the winningest college football coaches, said. It's the will to prepare to win. And of course, here's Michael Phelps. He's a guy who was very well prepared. As a matter of fact, in one of his final races, his goggles filled with water, which would have thrown even the best of Olympic athletes off. But because he had actually swam with his goggles filled with water, even practiced with the lights out occasionally, and he knew exactly how many strokes to take. When he finished those number of strokes and he touched, he won the event. And the analogy here is that having a good plan and having a really good understanding of the sales process and how to lead people through their buying process is key to our success. So with that, let's acknowledge up front, it's not easy. We appreciate how difficult it is being in your shoes. Matter of fact, research shows that less than 50% of forecasted opportunities, that's been through the sales process and has been forecasted, actually close. Pretty compelling data here. 26% of all sales efforts end in no decision in 2012. Again, pretty chilling stats here. And finally, 60% of the revenue is produced by the top 20% of reps, which means that 80% of the reps are producing 40% of the revenue. So clearly, if you're a strategic account manager here, you want to be in the top producers. If you're a sales manager or sales leader listening, you know, you want to take a look at how can we move up to have a better production from our team. And, you know, we realize it's not easy. You've got aggressive quotas out there. You've got to expand and penetrate accounts in competitive environments. And, you know, you're going to end up running out of time and resources before you end up running out of things to do. So the whole point here is that, you know, if you do have a good plan, if you do have a good understanding of the sales process, here's actually an account that I worked with. We gave them some good territory and account planning skills and methods and some selling skills to support that. And even in a consolidating, highly competitive marketplace for medical capital equipment, their key success indicators went up dramatically. This was an actual study we did. And their margins went up too, which means they did not do it by discounting, but rather they, and we suggest that you should, they had good plans. They had a good understanding of the sales and the buying process, and they were going after the right prospects. They really understood who was going to appreciate their products, and they pursued them more, and they did a great job of execution. And so those are some of the things that we're going to talk about here today. So I'd like to share with you a personal experience. I was a top sales rep at Hewlett-Packard. I landed the biggest deal in the history of the New England area, a $20 million deal. Took 18 months to bring to fruition. And if I had not had a good plan, I would have had no chance of winning that whatsoever. We were selling to another multi-billion-dollar company. It was a highly complex situation. I realize not every situation is, but having a good plan enabled us to really identify our competitive advantages. To all of us on the HP side, singing off the same hymnal of value proposition and how we met their needs, making sure everyone, and there was a broad range of people from the sales organization to division to executive sponsors, making sure we were on the same page. As a matter of fact, I first met my executive sponsor, who was a senior VP at HP. His first words to me were, "What's your plan and what do you want me to do?" Right there, if I did not have a plan, I might have been looking for a new job. But instead, we had a good plan. We used it to stay on track. As a matter of fact, we used it with our coaches inside the customer account, used it to manage meeting and other efforts. We were able to respond to competitive threats. As I'm sure you can appreciate, things change as you get closer and closer to the actual decision. New competitors entered, prices changed, terms and conditions, and if I didn't have a good plan, we would not be able to keep it on track. So research shows that if you do have a good plan, it helps you do all these good things. Align your solution with customer needs, have a roadmap for long-term growth in the account, perhaps from business unit to business unit, opportunity to opportunity, improve your growth rate, customer retention, and cross-sell, upsell to penetrate and grow the account. So here are the key elements that you really want to make sure you have in your plan, whatever form it takes. The first thing is to make sure that a plan helps you focus. So what are your goals? How are you going to accomplish them? What are the strategies? What are the trends? What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats that you see relative to this penetrating this account that you can really leverage? What tactics will enable you to do that? Then you want to prioritize the opportunities within the account. Even if you're in a large account, there could be things that you didn't even know about that are occurring. I know that's happened to me, and I know a lot of people. So that's part of leveraging your resources. How can you leverage your resources internally, externally, on the web, et cetera, to know what's going on, and then ultimately to have a good action plan and execute it. So here's an example of, this is a very simple example, of what you might do for an account strategy, or for that matter, an opportunity strategy. Have a screen in your CRM, or if you're using a spreadsheet, capture some of the key information, such as what are the compelling events or needs that will drive them forward? What are the strategic initiatives at the senior level that we can attach to and demonstrate how our solution can help them really achieve those strategic initiatives? That can go a long way. Obviously, what our product is, and more importantly, what our differentiators are, and what differentiators that we have that they truly appreciate. And of course, you have to work with each of the key members in the account and in the opportunity to make sure that you're on target with their differentiators, and ultimately then a sales approach. And if this is a complex deal where you're working with other people, making sure everyone's on the same page on this, and certainly getting your management on board as well, or managers taking a look and making sure that you're leveraging all the appropriate resources. Okay, then your plan needs to have a good understanding of what's going on in the account, what's going on in their marketplace, what's going on maybe in the technology that they are utilizing, what are their strategic initiatives, et cetera, as I said, what's going on in the specific business units that you should be aware of. Maybe we can help them do a better job against one of their competitors, right? Maybe get them first to market. Maybe get them in a better position, possibly from a cost point of view or generating revenue point of view. Understanding the people, the roles, their influence, and the politics. All of this should be incorporated into your plan, but you've got to weigh that with having a plan that's simple enough that it's easy to execute, that the sales team will be willing to execute, and that is demonstratable to really help people win more deals. So these are some interesting stats. If you look at top sales organizations in the world, and this is based on certain research, they found that 45% more of them have a clear understanding of the customer's needs. They are also more likely to have a consistent and compelling value proposition. They are more likely to have relationships at the highest level. Now, I will admit that everyone on this call could look at that and say, well, I know I need to do that. But what's compelling here is the dramatic difference between how well the top sales organizations do versus the rest. So if you look at that, and maybe there's one thing on that list that you're not doing as well as you think you should, that's an action item that could potentially help you improve your results. Another view that we think is important is just how are we going to grow our relationships in the account in the specific opportunity. So, we start from untrusted unknown, and of course we all want to go up to trusted advisor, frankly a term that's well overused and underaccomplished. And so one of the things that we say is important to do is have a relationship strategy for each key relationship in the account, in the opportunity. So one of the things that this graph tells you also is concern about dollars goes up as you get serious about buying and buy for the first time, but goes down as you have bought more from the same provider, vendor, etc. So, clearly the message there is, we want to continue to work with these people over time. They will become less price sensitive. It will become a less competitive situation. One of the things that Serious Decisions says results if you focus on productivity, improving the productivity of your team or yourself if you're a strategic account manager, and having a good understanding of the sales process, having a good sales plan greatly contributes to this. Well, if you do that, research shows you're going to get more opportunities. You're going to have shorter sales cycles. You're going to have larger deal size and higher win rates. Now, I have to imagine there's something in there for everyone on this call. So one of the things you can do to accomplish that is pursue the best opportunities. Again, something that sounds obvious. But look at this research. The top 30% of prospects are 3 times more likely to buy than the bottom 70%. One of the really compelling items in this particular research shows GE selling capital equipment. This is a great example of big data, which is a very popular thing these days. They researched literally tens of thousands of their sales in this particular business unit. And at the end of it, I worked with the sales management team, came up with the 6 criteria that they felt had the highest correlation with best prospects. Using those criteria, they identified 10,000 new high-priority prospects that had not been high-priority prospects. As a matter of fact, half of all the high-priority prospects on the ending list were not even on their top lists before. So using a good understanding of what's going on in the account, you can actually identify new opportunities, make them your top priorities, go after them. You're going to use your time better, and you're going to have better results. As a matter of fact, Serious Decisions research showed that if you are willing to do that, and companies that manage their pipeline so that their hole in the pipe, in the funnel, is no more than 3 times the total goal, so if your goal is $1 million, have no more than $3 million, that their close ratio went up by 32% by doing that. And it's a tough thing to do, you know, for salespeople, for managers to say, no, that's not an opportunity we're going to pursue because we're going to pursue these other 30% and we're going to win more. Matter of fact, we did this with one of my accounts. They were selling ultrasound equipment. They felt initially that they were the top of the line. They went after people who were looking for top of the line product. And when we reviewed it and we said, well, you know, we're really not top of the line. We're really kind of top of the middle of the line, if you will. They repositioned. They went after a new target, and their results went up 50% in 1 year. So if you're willing to do that and identify the ideal if you will, criteria for the best prospects to go after, at least research shows your results should go up. So here are some of the things you want to look at. Now, kind of referencing that previous example, you know, you've got to understand the needs in the market, but you've got to understand the needs that you best fill. So, you know, earlier they had gone after certain needs that they did not best fill, and they ended up losing those deals. So if you're willing to qualify those people out, but going after the ones that you have needs where you do best fill, where you understand what's important to the organization, possibly the size of the opportunity, the type of the transaction, et cetera, put together that 6 criteria as GE did, again, your probability of success goes up dramatically. Another thing that can improve your probability of success is having a clear understanding of the sales process. Now that goes without saying. If you look at this, this would be the sales funnel from top to bottom at number 6, commitments. We have you know, got a signed contract, that's all good. But what we're saying here is understanding it in greater detail. What are the key milestones? I've worked with a lot of companies where we identify new milestones and identify what we're missing in there. Perhaps we need some training. Perhaps we need a sales tool. For example, one which is kind of common is when we get the economic justification because our product has better value, but it has higher initial price. You know, maybe we need a pro forma that helps the people who look at the money see that, yeah, even though it's a higher initial price, at the end of the day, it's a better return on investment. So really understanding the milestones, understanding how to help drive the buyer through their process can improve your results dramatically. The other thing you want to do is align your team on this. So maybe you have sales, maybe you have service, maybe you have other technical support. Make sure everyone's on the same wavelength and on the same, literally the same page, the same milestones. Okay. Another thing that's very important is to have easy access to your plan and your understanding of the sales process. So how could you do that? Well, you could have it in your system of record, whatever that is, let's say CRM, Salesforce.com, et cetera. This enables you to use the data you already have in the system to get greater insight, to have your plan or your understanding of the process built into that system, allows you to actively work the plan, allows you to actively work the process. It allows you to identify and use and share best practices across the team, make sure everyone, you know, if Joe figured out a good way to do something, let's leverage that across the entire team. It also allows you to track progress and respond to change. Now, some people say, well, why should I have a plan? Things are changing so rapidly. Well, the reason is you could have contingency plans. You can know exactly where you're at, and actually can make you be able to respond more quickly and more effectively. Here's an example of another part of the benefit of having your plan in your, let's say, CRM, or be able to at least print reports and dashboards is you can take a look at this, and in this case, we're looking at Blue is average sales goal. Purple is average pipeline gap. And you can see clearly, we're doing pretty well in these two accounts here. I'm a strategic account manager. I'm doing okay here, but oh my God, look at this. Huge pipeline gap, way away from producing my sales goal. At least it helps me identify where I need to put my attention. Or if I'm a sales manager, sales leader, you can aggregate this and you can see maybe where you need to give attention. Another possible, report, dashboard that could give you some insight is looking at your average stage duration, how long you're taking in each stage of the sales process. So here we see, oh my God, we're taking a heck of a lot of time in prospecting and identifying decision makers. And, maybe we need, we need to do something, right? Maybe we need to qualify better. Maybe we need, again, that selling tool to help us move forward into the final steps of the sales process. Maybe we need more executive attention, etc. At the end of the day, if you do these things, research shows your results will go up. You want to have a good plan. You want to leverage your insight into what's going on in the account, whether it's an account you're penetrating for the first time or trying to go deeper into. You need an understanding of the buyer's process and how your sales process can mesh with that and help them move forward. You want to spend your time with the right prospects, helping them get what they want, and ultimately you want to execute effectively. So with that, we do have additional resources. We will make this recording and the slide set available. You can go to our website. We have a book on the topic. We have articles like how to write a good strategic account plan. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Todd, and he's going to now talk about how to leverage all of this into connecting with the key players in the account.